The escalation that shook the world. A hypothetical look at World War III, involving Iran, America, and Israel, by Global Affairs Desk, in an alternate, chilling timeline. The seeds of global conflict sown through decades of tension between Iran, the United States, and Israel have finally sprouted into the unthinkable, a full-scale global war. What began as a regional standoff in the Middle East exploded into a multi-front catastrophe that has drawn in major powers and threatened the balance of the modern world. This is the story of how a volatile triangle of geopolitical rivalries could spiral into World War III. The origins of the conflict. For decades, Iran's opposition to the West and its support for proxy, militias across the Middle East, have put it at odds with the United States and Israel. Tensions simmered through political standoffs, cyber warfare, and occasional military skirmishes, but diplomacy managed to prevent all-out war, until it didn't. The flashpoint came with a coordinated drone and missile attack on Tel Aviv, which Israel blamed directly on Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. Although Iran denied involvement, the evidence presented was enough for Israel to launch a retaliatory strike deep into Iranian territory when American assets stationed in Iraq and the Persian Gulf were targeted in the days that followed. The U.S. declared its intent to defend its allies and interests in the region by all means necessary. Global powers take sides. What set this hypothetical war apart from past conflicts was its sheer scope. Russia, citing Western aggression, pledged support for Iran in the form of military advisors and anti-aircraft systems. China, initially neutral, began to take a more assertive stance as U.S. naval movements in the South China Sea increased. NATO, meanwhile, backed U.S. and Israeli efforts, fearing a destabilization of the entire Middle East and beyond. Within weeks, multiple countries were drawn into the chaos. Oil markets crashed. Cyber attacks crippled infrastructure in Europe, Asia, and North America. Social media became a weapon of propaganda. World War III had begun not with a nuclear blast, but with firepower, misinformation, and diplomatic collapse. The human cost. Cities like Tehran, Haifa, Baghdad, and Riyadh witnessed devastating missile exchanges. Civilian casualties soared. Refugee crises reached levels not seen since the Second World War. The United Nations, weakened by divisions among Security Council members, struggled to mediate a ceasefire. Peace seemed like a distant memory. The aftermath. After months of brutal fighting and mounting global pressure, a ceasefire was negotiated in Geneva. But the world had already changed. Millions had died, governments had collapsed, and the global economy was in ruins. The post-war order was uncertain, with new alliances, shattered trust, and an urgent call for a reimagined international system.